Well, actually, Faith City Ministries is such a part of Amarillo. I've known about Faith City Ministries pretty much ever since I've moved here about 20 years ago. Amarillo really embraces Faith City. I think Faith City's actually been here for 60 years. And so throughout that time, Amarillo's become aware of our homeless population, and they're also very aware of what Faith City Ministries does for the homeless population. And so I've always kind of known about Faith City, and our church also helps sponsor them and helps donates and contributes to Faith City a lot. But it wasn't just about 3 years ago, I think it was. Jenna's our executive director, has always been a friend of mine, and she came to me and asked me if I would consider coming to work here. And in the beginning, I really wasn't interested. I had never really thought about working in a homeless shelter, but I knew Jenna, and I knew her passion, and I loved her and what she did. And so as we began to talk, I just kind of felt the Lord telling me to come. And so I came to Faith City Ministries. Actually, when I first came to Faith City Ministries, my role was as public relations coordinator, and I was also over volunteers. And as time went on and I began to become more and more familiar with all of the different things that take place at Faith City, I began to get a passion for the donations that were coming in and the blessing of getting to give those away. And I began to look at just the magnitude of the donations that come into Faith City, and I began to think there has got to be a better way to give it away. There are so many people in need, and I just wanted to be able to bless the people that were needing the stuff that we had, that we were getting every day. So anyway, through that, I actually became the manager over our warehouse, which means that we are in charge of every donation that comes in, taking those donations and figuring out a way to bless those people that actually need the donations. So through that, we've been able to actually create a store where when our guests come in and anything that they need, if we get it, we love to give it away. And so anything that we get in, we find a way to display it and make it easy for our guests to come in, find it, and shop. We have what we have a store, and it's set up so that when the guests come in, it's sized. Our students serve them like sales clerks, and they're treated very kindly, compassionately, and they're treated as if they'd come into a store and were purchasing items. And I love what happens when our guests come into the store. They, a lot of times they'll come in and they're nervous and they're scared, and they're like, what can I have? What can I take? And when we just look them in the eye and say, you can get whatever you need, and you have as much time as you need. And then when we help them find what they need and help fill their sacks and take care of them, you see their countenance change. You see a confidence come back into them, and you see them become a little bit more secure, feel a little bit more safe. But more than anything, they understand their value. They begin to understand their value. And when they leave, they really are different than when they came in. And I love that. Hospitality is a huge deal, that every time a guest walks through our door, that they understand how important they are. I also oversee the kitchen and dining room, and that's where our guests come in and eat. And we serve 3 meals a day, 6 days a week. But again, our homeless guests are treated as if they're coming to a restaurant. I mean, they come in, we seat them, their plates are set for them, we serve them if they need anything else to drink. If they are thirsty, we refill their drinks, and it's just a wonderful, it's so fun. What I love about my job is that I get to just give stuff away. I mean, people bless us with their donations, and so we get to just give it away, and that is so fun. I mean, I love it because we get to give people what they need, and we get to do it every day, all day long. It's wonderful. Faith City Ministries is passionate that everyone that walks through our door is understood. It's understood how valuable they are, that they are important, and we respect and honor them in every way possible. It is highly I would say it's a very high priority that we do things with excellence because they're worth it. And so, in fact, just this morning, we again were talking about back in the warehouse, how we not only have a high standard for the way we serve our guests, but we're raising the standard. And we're just very passionate that every person that walks through our doors understands how important they are not only to us, but to the Lord. I feel like we begin sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. We get to share it every day in practical ways just because we meet their needs. We get to feed them, we get to clothe them, we get to just give them the practical things that they need. But we also, because of the way our programs are run by the students that are in our addiction recovery program. And so they're the ones that serve the guests every day. And they understand the importance of treating them and well, but also having a spirit of hospitality. And so what you'll see when our guests come in is as they're treated well and valued, you will also see, you'll see if a guest has an issue or is sad or having a problem, you'll actually see someone praying for them at that time. There have been so many times that we've had shopping in the store and I will look around and one of the students will just have his hand on one of our guest shoulders and we'll just be saying a prayer with them. I love the way that they're, when they know that a guest needs something, if we don't have it, they'll keep looking for it, and when the guest comes back, they'll let them know that they found it. What better way to help someone know about Jesus than, first of all, you're providing their needs, and second of all, you're giving them the love of Jesus Christ just through your prayers and your counsel and your caring. Discipleship is very, very important at Faith City Ministries, especially in our addiction recovery program. And the men that work in the department that I oversee, they actually come to a meeting early every single morning of the week, and we go over and speak about what the Lord is saying to us that day through Scripture, but we also talk about how that is then applied to their personal lives as well as in the ministry that they do every day. And so it's the discipleship here is challenging, and we talk a lot about how important it is to hear the voice of God for yourself, so that when and how important it is to read Scripture and learn what it says on your own, because when they go out, that's what they're going to have. They're going to have that truth and that relationship with the Lord that's going to help them to succeed. And so discipleship is very, very important. And so we challenge them. I personally challenge them in my department on a daily basis in what is God saying to you, what is God asking you to do, and then how are we going to apply this today. Of course, that's done through the classes as well, but I think also serving is a large part of our discipleship program because it teaches them to get outside of themselves, and so they begin to see others' needs and how important others' needs are, and to understand others' values, and I think that's also a really large part of their growth. There are so many ways for people to get involved with Faith City Ministries. You can give money, you can volunteer, you can pray. Actually, even coming and getting a tour and seeing what all we do helps you to be more involved because you understand the impact of the ministry that we have here. We always can use money. It takes a lot of money to run a ministry of this size, with especially all the different programs that we do. And so any type of donation that we get financially is very needed. We also, volunteers are huge in running this ministry. We have volunteers that come just about every day, and volunteers can do anything from serving meals to painting to sorting clothes. There's tons and tons of things. So volunteering is a great way to be involved. And prayer, of course. We wouldn't make it if we didn't have prayer. When somebody asks me why I do this, it's more a question of, I get to do this. I'm so glad that God asked me and lets me. I mean, I don't have any skills to run a warehouse or a kitchen, but I just said yes. And it is just the greatest honor. I'm just so glad that God lets me be a part of this. Getting to know the guests and being able to have relationship with the students in the addiction recovery program has been just one of the greatest blessings of my life. And so I do it because I want to say because I want to, but it's more because I get to. That's all I can say. I get to. I'm so honored, and I'm so glad, and I'm passionate about it. It's an extension of me. It's an extension of my heart. It's an extension of all the things that God's been putting into me my whole life, and I get to just give it away. And I mean, there's no greater blessing than to get to give ourselves away and to get to spend ourselves and to get to use our gifts in a way that blesses other people. So I'm glad to be here. Very, very glad. I've been in ministry work. I've worked in different kinds of ministries for many years. And it's always an honor and a blessing when we get to do that. I do love Faith City Ministries, and I am honored and blessed that God allows me to be a part of such a vital ministry in our community. Faith City Ministries changes lives every day. And whenever you can walk through our ministry at any time and see the homeless guests that have come in to take a shower or to eat or to receive clothing, and they're being treated well. And you can walk through our ministry at any time, and there's an integrity here, and you won't be surprised. Everyone's treated the same all the time, and that's a representation of Christ. And so to get to be a part of that, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.